Love is one of the most beautiful and transformative experiences in life. It has the power to lift us higher than we ever imagined, to fill our hearts with warmth, and to make the world feel a little brighter. But love is also unpredictable. It doesn't always last the way we hope it will. Sometimes, no matter how much we give, how deeply we care, or how hard we try, love slips away. And when it does, it leaves behind an ache that feels unbearable. Heartbreak is something we all experience at some point in our lives. It doesn't matter who you are, how strong you seem, or how much you try to protect yourself. Love and loss go hand in hand. But what we don't always realize in the moment is that loss isn't the end of the story. It's part of the journey, a chapter that teaches us some of the most valuable lessons we will ever learn. When someone walks away from us, especially when we gave them our best, it's easy to fall into self-doubt. We question everything. Were we not enough? Did we do something wrong? Could we have held on a little tighter? But love isn't about proving yourself. It isn't about convincing someone to stay. True love is mutual, effortless in its understanding, and if someone chooses to walk away, that says more about them than it does about you. The pain of losing someone you love isn't just about missing their presence. It's about missing the version of yourself that you were with them. It's about the shared memories, the small details, the inside jokes that only the two of you understood. It's about realizing that a part of your world has shifted, and no matter how badly you want things to go back to the way they were, they never will. That's the hardest part, accepting that love changes and sometimes it fades. But time has a way of revealing truths that we can't see in the moment. The longer we go without someone, the more we begin to understand why things happened the way they did. And while we're busy healing, moving forward, and rediscovering ourselves, the person who left often finds themselves facing the reality of their choices. They start to feel the emptiness, the absence, the space that you once filled. And no matter how much they try to distract themselves, the truth catches up with them. Love is never truly lost. The love you gave, the kindness you showed, the way you made someone feel, that stays with them. And when they realize that they let something irreplaceable go, that's when time begins to break them. But by then, you will have already stepped into a new version of yourself, one that no longer waits for someone to realize your worth, because love isn't just about what you give to someone else. It's about how you learn to love yourself even after they're gone. There comes a moment in life when you realize that holding on too tightly to someone who doesn't see your worth is doing more harm than good. Love should never be about chasing, begging, or proving yourself to someone who chooses to overlook everything you bring to the table. The power of walking away is one of the greatest strengths you can ever develop, not just in love, but in every aspect of life. It's a statement that says, I know my worth, and I refuse to settle for anything less than what I deserve. Walking away isn't easy, especially when you've invested so much of your heart into someone. You replay the moments, the laughter, the connection that once felt unbreakable. You tell yourself that if you just hold on a little longer, maybe they'll come around. Maybe they'll realize what they're losing. But that kind of thinking only prolongs your pain. The truth is, if someone truly values you, they won't put you in a position where you feel like you have to fight for their attention, love, or respect. Choosing to walk away doesn't mean you stop loving them overnight. It doesn't mean you erase the memories or forget the connection you once had. It simply means you love yourself enough to step away from something that no longer serves you. It means you understand that love should be reciprocated, not one-sided. It means you respect yourself enough to say, I deserve better, even when your heart wants to hold on. The moment you walk away, something powerful happens. You shift the dynamic. No longer are you the one waiting, hoping, or wondering. You take back control. And while it may hurt at first, that pain is temporary. What lasts is the self-respect and strength you build in the process. Because the longer you stay in a situation that diminishes you, the harder it becomes to recognize your own value. The person you walk away from may not realize it immediately, but time will eventually make them see. They will feel the absence of your love, the warmth you brought into their life, the way you made them feel seen and understood. And when they finally recognize what they lost, it will be too late, because by then you will have grown, you will have stepped into a stronger, wiser version of yourself, one who no longer settles for less than they deserve. Walking away is not about revenge or making someone suffer. It's about choosing yourself, healing, and creating space for the right kind of love to find you. It's about understanding that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is let go. Because when you do, you send a clear message, not just to them, but to yourself, that you are worthy of the kind of love that doesn't require you to beg for it. And that kind of self-worth, it's unstoppable. Time has a way of revealing truths that we may not see in the moment. When we go through pain, heartbreak, or difficult situations, we often want immediate answers. We want to understand why things happened the way they did, why people walked away, and why we were left to pick up the pieces. But the reality is, clarity doesn't come instantly. Healing doesn't happen overnight. Understanding takes time, and that's why time itself is the greatest teacher. When we're in the middle of heartbreak, disappointment, or loss, it feels unbearable. We convince ourselves that we'll never feel okay again, that we'll always be haunted by the memories of what was. But as time passes, we start to see things differently. The pain that once felt overwhelming begins to fade. The memories that once held us captive lose their power, and the person we thought we couldn't live without slowly becomes a part of our past rather than our future. Time teaches us lessons that no words ever could. It teaches us that no matter how much we love someone, we cannot make them love us the way we deserve. It teaches us that people will come and go, but the right ones will always stay. It teaches us that what we thought was the end is often just the beginning of something greater. The experiences that once broke us eventually become the stepping stones to our growth. One of the most important things time teaches us is perspective. When we're hurt, we see things through a lens of pain, and that pain can make us believe things that aren't true. We think we'll never find love again, never be happy, never move forward, but give it time, and you'll see that life always has more in store for you. The love you thought was irreplaceable will be replaced with something deeper and more fulfilling. The happiness you thought you lost forever will return in ways you never expected. And the heartbreak that once felt unbearable will become just another chapter in your story. Time also reveals people's true colors. When someone walks away from you, you may feel like you lost something valuable, but with time you start to see things more clearly. You realize that if someone was willing to leave, they were never truly meant for you. And when the regret finally hits them, when they start to feel the weight of their own decisions, you will already be in a place where you no longer need them. That's the beauty of time. It not only heals you, but also shows you who and what truly matters. So if you're going through something painful right now, trust in time. Trust that one day you'll look back and understand why things had to happen the way they did. You'll see that every loss, every heartbreak, and every disappointment was simply guiding you towards something better. Because in the end, time never fails to teach us exactly what we need to know. Letting go is one of the hardest things we ever have to do, whether it's a person, a relationship, a dream, or even a version of ourselves that no longer serves us. Walking away from something we once held dear can feel like losing a part of who we are. But what many people don't realize is that true strength comes from letting go. It's not in holding on, fighting for something that isn't meant for us, or trying to change what is out of our control. Strength is in accepting what is, trusting what will be, and allowing ourselves to move forward without looking back. When we hold on to something that no longer belongs in our lives, we often do it out of fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of being alone, or fear of not finding something better. We convince ourselves that if we just try harder, wait longer, or give more, things will change. But the reality is, some things are meant to end. Some people are meant to be lessons rather than lifelong companions. Some chapters need to close so we can start a new one. And no matter how much it hurts in the moment, the sooner we accept that, the sooner we can start healing. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean pretending that what we lost never mattered. It means acknowledging that we gave our best, that we loved with all we had, and that sometimes even our best isn't enough to make something last. And that's okay. Strength is not in holding on to something that's already slipping away. It's in having the courage to release it, even when it hurts. There is power in choosing yourself. There is power in saying, I deserve better, even when your heart wants to settle. When you let go of what no longer serves you, you create space for something greater to take its place. You step into a version of yourself that is no longer defined by past pain, but by resilience, wisdom, and self-love. You begin to see that you are whole on your own, that happiness was never dependent on someone else, and that your worth was never tied to someone's ability to stay. And here's the truth. The things you struggle to let go of now will one day be nothing more than a distant memory. The person you thought you couldn't live without, you'll wake up one day and realize you're thriving without them. The pain that feels unbearable now, it will turn into a strength you never knew you had. And the moment you finally let go, you'll feel a weight lift off your shoulders, a freedom you forgot was possible. So don't be afraid to release what is not meant for you. Letting go is not a sign of weakness. It is the ultimate act of strength, because when you finally walk away from what is holding you back, you step into a future that is filled with endless possibilities. And that future, it's waiting for you to claim it. Regret is one of the heaviest emotions a person can carry. It lingers in the quiet moments, sneaks up in the middle of the night, and whispers reminders of what was lost. It doesn't come all at once, but builds over time, slowly revealing itself as reality sinks in. When someone walks away from something real, when they take for granted the love, care, and effort that was given to them, regret always comes. It may not happen immediately, but eventually they will feel the weight of what they lost. At first, they may not realize it. They may think they're fine, distracted by new people, new experiences, or the illusion that they made the right choice. They convince themselves that they were better off without you, that leaving was the best decision, and that moving on would be easy. But time has a way of breaking through those illusions. The further they go, the more they begin to see what they took for granted. They start to notice the little things, the way you made them feel safe, the comfort of knowing someone truly cared, the love that was given so effortlessly. And when they finally understand what they let go of, regret sets in. Regret doesn't hit all at once, it creeps in slowly. It's in the moments when they reach for their phone to text you but realize they can't. It's in the places you used to go together, now filled with memories they can't escape. It's in the conversations where they catch themselves bringing up your name, wondering if you still think about them. And as much as they may try to hide it, deep down they know they lost something real, and nothing can ever replace that. People don't always appreciate what they have while they have it. They assume that love like yours will always be there, that they can leave and return whenever they want. But the truth is, not everyone gets a second chance. By the time regret fully sets in, you will have already grown beyond them. You will have healed, found happiness in your own life, and realized that you never needed them to be complete. And that is where the true power lies. The moment they realize what they lost is often the moment you no longer want them back. While they were out searching for something better, you were becoming better for yourself. While they were taking their time figuring out what they wanted, you were moving forward without them. Regret is a painful thing to carry, but it is not your burden to hold. It belongs to them. And no matter how much they may wish to turn back time, life doesn't work that way. Choices have consequences, and sometimes the price of taking someone for granted is losing them forever. So, let them regret, let time do its work, because while they're looking back, you're already miles ahead, walking toward the love, peace, and happiness you always deserved. Life has a way of making us believe that our best moments are behind us. When we experience heartbreak, disappointment, or loss, it's easy to feel like we've already lived our greatest days and that nothing ahead could ever compare to what we once had. But the truth is, no matter how much pain you've endured, no matter how many times you've been let down, your best chapter is yet to come. It's hard to see the future clearly when you're in the middle of heartache. You may feel stuck, weighed down by memories of what was, constantly replaying the past in your mind. You might wonder if you'll ever feel that same kind of love again, if happiness will ever return, or if things will ever fall into place the way you once imagined. But life is always moving, always changing, and just because one chapter has ended doesn't mean your story is over. In fact, the very thing you're holding on to may be preventing you from stepping into something even greater. Growth happens in the moments we least expect. The pain you feel now is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Every tear, every struggle, and every moment of doubt is preparing you for something better. You may not see it yet, but one day you'll look back and realize that everything had to happen the way it did to bring you to where you were meant to be. The person you thought you couldn't live without, they were just a lesson, the door that closed. It was only making space for something greater to enter. The beauty of life is that it is unpredictable. Just when you think you've lost it all, just when you feel like there's nothing left to look forward to, life surprises you. You meet new people, you experience new opportunities, and suddenly you find yourself in a place you never imagined. A place of peace, love, and happiness that is far greater than what you left behind. But for that to happen, you have to believe in what's ahead. You have to stop looking back, stop doubting yourself, and stop settling for less than what you deserve. You have to remind yourself that what's meant for you will never pass you by. And if something or someone has left your life, it's because they were never meant to be in your final chapter. So take a deep breath and trust the journey. The best days of your life are not behind you. They are still waiting for you. Love will find you again. Happiness will return. And one day, you'll realize that everything you once wished for was only a fraction of what was truly meant for you. Your best chapter is yet to come, and when it arrives, you'll understand why everything had to happen the way it did. Keep going, keep believing, and keep writing your story, because the best is still ahead.